Welcome to Fantasy Now Plus, your Monday edition of the broadcast. We are joined by Justin Bauerle today, but he's in the background right now, so we're going to keep him there. We are discussing the running back position for your Dynasty rankings, of course. Today, last week, we did quarterback, so if you're into this sort of ranking situation, go to our last week's show and watch the quarterback edition. But today, running backs. We have some hot topics, some older guys. We're going to be talking about some younger guys and the guys that just kind of fall in the middle, kind of like a make it or break it season for some of these players. So before we get any further, let's bring in Justin. Let's bring him in. He fixed everything. He's in the background doing producing. He's fixing our rankings because one ranker, pick it up, Sean, pick it up. I joke. I kid. Last year, hey, listen, full disclosure, I was new to ranking last year on an official site. So it's very difficult for me. Am I too high?
No, I think you're just not using your microphone.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I have a microphone in front of me, and I'm just not going to use it because, why would I use
it sounds like you're like in a hallway right now. It doesn't sound like the normal Josh Kimmel that we all know and love. Oh, you didn't plug it in? Oh, no, Josh. I can only produce so much, man.
It's a Monday.
It is a Monday. I didn't even have my lights turned on.
I love how I went back to the microphone.
Here we are.
I love how I went back to the microphone to tell you it's Monday, even though it didn't matter because my microphone still wasn't plugged in. So yes, it's a Monday here at Fantasy Now Plus, and this is the off season, and I'm glad that we're working things out because guess what, guys? When we go live for the season, we have 8 shows dedicated and scheduled out. It's only May, and we have our entire regular season scheduled. Other independent podcast is doing that sort of thing, so I'm glad we are prepped up, ready for the season. But if we could just turn on our mics, that'd be a start, right? That'd be a great start. But yes, back as I was saying, running back rankings, right? The older guys, the younger guys, and the guys that are kind of like hit or miss. This is our make or break season where we land on these guys. So before we get forward, I'm going to leave it to you so I can make sure all my other settings are fine. Justin. Oh, no, you weren't going to. I'll do it for you. I'll set you up. So we are having a live stream.
Oh my God.
I was going to set you up.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I thought we were like G's. Like I thought we were like, we telepath each other. What's the thing? The Shining, right?
Sorry, my wife is over here texting me about AI and like we'll be fine on things. I'm like, okay. Yeah, this weekend we are having a 24-hour live stream to support our charity Extra Life and the families over at the Children's Miracle Network. I will be live starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday, and I will be live until 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Yes, 24 hours of me on the screen. Probably won't get any views because it'll be me on the screen for 24 straight hours. But hey, if you want to come and talk and just kind of hang out, chat with us, keep us awake and moving, it will be a fun time. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, including Super League, other fun formats and leagues. I've got 2 different Jeopardy games set up, one for general NFL and fantasy, one for a Bears versus Packers fan. So it'll be Bears Packers Jeopardy. We've got, general football talk. We've got some midnight math, IDP. We're going to talk about IDP. Josh and I are going to play college football with a very special guest. I don't know if we've ever mentioned the special guest name, but just know that you will want to be there at 2 a.m.
Well, are we going to play? Restream. Wait, we're not playing with him. We'll play, and then when he comes on,
we will play and like chat with him.
Oh, we're going to be playing while he's on? Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. We don't have to be.
Listen, guys, founding father of the show. I'm delegated to the 2 a.m. slot, which I don't stay up past 8:30. So it's just a treat to see me at 2. I can't wait to see myself at 2:30 in the morning. If I'm put together, I don't think Justin's ever beat me in college football. On the PlayStation 5, I'm really good at video games, so it's going to be a massacre. It's going to be a murder. And I will take, and this is the truth. If you're watching, I will take requests. If you want me to play as Tennessee, if you want me to play as Rutgers, if you want me to play as Idaho, I'll beat Justin no matter what team I am. So I'll play with whoever you want me to play as. Okay. the fans, the viewers, the listeners, we appreciate you. 2 a.m. I'll be on. I might be on sporadically throughout the day because it is 24 hours, and I don't want to leave Justin high and dry. So I may just pop in here and there to check in on you guys and see how you're good. I got kids, man. We might be at Busch Gardens. We might be at the pool.
It's Memorial Day weekend. You should be doing whatever you can with your kids that weekend. So I don't hate you for it, but we will be talking about a lot of different stuff. That only covers the first 8-hour block of what I've talked about so far. We have so many guests. So I mean, I'm counting, I don't know, 14 different guests, I think, 15 maybe. I haven't even counted it actually. Oh, wait, actually, there's an easy way to count that. Let's just go to this page. And we have
while he's learning math,
guests, 23 guests coming on this week.
23. So 23 guests. Awesome. So before we no more plugs. You can catch us on
Raphael said you have to play with Arizona.
You got to be there. You got to be the highest donator. The highest donation. That's how we should set it up, right? It could be $1.
Yeah.
$2 because
we are raising, you get to pick our team.
You are obviously picking our supporting of course the families in need, the Children's Miracle Network, hospitals, everything goes to them. So I'm hyped. All right, let's get to it. Running backs, last week we did the quarterbacks. This week's a little bit difficult because running backs are up one year, down the next year. You can never tell with a running back. It's very, very rare to get one that stays on the top of the ranks for years and years and years, like a CMC or like a Saquon Barkley. Even the Jonathan Taylors of the world have been falling off the planet. So there is a very polarizing player on this list who has fallen off, and he was a top 3 guy, and I still have him ranked as top 3 in my opinion. We will get to him later. So there is a running backs are up and down. I do want to speak to you about this before we get into our rankings. Do you think there is a major problem in the ranking community when it comes to dynasty formatting, as in they're ranking more for what the player did last year and what they're going to do in this year rather than the entire picture? And I'm going to give you an example. 2 years ago, CD Lamb went bananas, bonkers, right? Wide receiver 1, baby. He's got to be wide receiver 1, right? That's where we ranked him. That's where we took him. All right, he fell off. No big deal. Chase this year or last year, monster, bananas year, bananas. We got him ranking wide receiver 1, right? We have to, right? We have to. But all in all, when it's all said and done, to me, you don't rank off of last year's production. You rank off of a player's production throughout his career and what's going to happen in the future. And no one's ever ranking Mr. Justin Jefferson at the top. Now, this is a conversation for the wide receivers. I only said that because they are, in my mind, it was CD, now it's Chase, and there's going to be somebody else. When we rank, we should rank for the future and what they've done, not just, oh, they were awesome last year. Happened to Justin Fields, happened to CJ Stroud, it's happening to Jaden Daniels. It's going to happen to the running back. So I'm really curious to see where we have our running backs and why we have our running backs. So do you want to kick things off with your most polarizing player, or do you just want to list our top 12 and go from there?
Yeah, I mean, I say we start from the top and just kind of work our way down. We'll stop and cover a couple. I mean, I know you've listed a couple that you want to for sure talk about. I've listed a couple that I would like to talk about as well. So, I mean, starting from the top, our team has Bijan Robinson as RB1. We do not. We have him as RB2. I think that's an interesting. He's 1 or 2, depending on how you look at him. Both of us have taken the other running back drafted in that same year, Jahmyr Gibbs, as our RB1. Do you?
I mean, yeah. To me, it's more of a pick your poison, whoever you want. Look, Jahmyr Gibbs was able to produce in an offense that did support another top 10 running back in David Montgomery. And when David Montgomery went out last year, Jahmyr Gibbs was totally unlocked. Bijan Robinson didn't have a David Montgomery breathing down his neck. Bijan Robinson has a Tyler Algier, who Tyler Algier only got snaps when Tyler Algier was ready to get snaps and Bijan was not. Whereas Gibbs always shared the backfield with David Montgomery. Gibbs didn't need the goal line carries. Gibbs didn't need the red zone carries. That was all David Montgomery. Gibbs was a running back 1 while sharing the effing load. No other running back can really do that. David Montgomery's healthy. He's coming back. He is going to eat up some carries, but that's been proven in the past that just doesn't matter there in Detroit. They're going to run the ball down their throats, and then they'll find some pro passing plays to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. But at the end of the day, that offense runs through Gibbs and David Montgomery, and Gibbs is the more electric out of the backfield, of course, and he's younger. So that's why I have Gibbs 1. If Montgomery goes down with any kind of injury, or Montgomery is just done, or he's toast, or he's roasted, Gibbs is going to be that guy. That's why I have number 1.
Yeah, and Raphael, we do not have Derrick Henry at number 1, nor do we have him in our top 12, because this is for Dynasty, and the man is like 47 years old. So he will. I've been saying this for 5 years now. He will fall off. Just
whenever he does, Justin's gonna be like, "I told y'all."
Told you guys. Told you in 2020 he will fall off.
No, it's 2029. He's gonna fall off soon, guys. Like that was the Tom Brady thing. That was the Brady thing forever. Brady's gonna fall off this year, and he never did. He never did. Except for his very last year.
The man does not stop. Like I'm so confused by him because why is he so good? Why RB4 last year?
Yeah.
At 30.
Remember this callback to OUS, by the way. This is before Fantasy Now. We did our rankings back when we had Dave on the show. And me and Dave when Henry went to Baltimore, we had him like top 5, and you guys had him like mid-teens. And we're like, do you guys understand how good Derrick Henry is going to be in that offense? And it just comes to prove, to show that you were getting into Dynasty at that point, and it was during the offseason. Dynasty rankings can affect redraft rankings. I was having this conversation today about the whole Jamar Chase situation with Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. Yes, Justin Jefferson's my far and away wide receiver 1 for Dynasty. By far and away, to me, he's in his own tier. That's just how I feel about that situation. But I will be willing to say I'm ranking Chase number 1 in redraft because he has a better quarterback in this position. I want to see what JJ McCarthy does. But Justin Jefferson has proven he could have me throw him the football. He will still be a top 3 receiver. That's why he's clearing away number 1. Running backs, you can't really say that. And of course, Derrick Henry falls in that position as well, because he did finish 4 last year. I'm not putting him in my top 10.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, where's Saquon? Obviously, I mean, Saquon finishes like the number 1 player in fantasy football last year. As a team, we collectively have him at 4 this year. Was Saquon even a guy that? Yeah, I think Saquon was a guy that you wanted to talk about.
Ding, ding, ding. So Saquon Barkley. I do see Raphael. I see your Bryce Hall. It's Breece Hall. I understand. I have notes on him as well. He's one of my guys. But do you want to talk about Saquon first, or people are asking for Breece? Which one do you want?
Let's talk about Breece.
All right, let's talk about Breece. So we have Breece Hall as the number 9 overall Dynasty running back. And to me, this falls in the same situation as what did he do last year? So people are already down on him. You talk about the trade rumors, new offensive coordinator in New York, new head coach in New York. The offensive coordinator is Tanner Eggstrand. He's the new offensive coordinator, came from Detroit. He was a passing coordinator in Detroit since 2022. He came along with Aaron Glenn. They're good friends. They're good buddies. They've worked together. So, of course, he brought him along as the offensive coordinator, but he was the passing coordinator. So I don't think this is really going to affect what they do with Breece Hall on the ground. Hopefully they get him more targets. That'd be ideal, because we saw his targets fall off. He had 19 less catches last year than in 2023. So that did fall off. The difference between Breece Hall in 2023 to 2024 was literally 49.6 points. That's it. You could say that's huge. That's massive. Well, it is. And the majority of it is because the targets went down, because the catches went down. He only had 1 less touchdown from 2023 to 2024. He had 14 less carries from 2023 to 2024. Breece Hall is still a killer. I have him ranked 3. I'm not dissing any of our guys or any guys, period. Whether you're ranking over at Optimus, whether you're ranking over at Fantasy and Frames or ESPN or Footballers, wherever, have him ranked where you want. But it's unfair to just give up on him on his 3rd year. His 3rd year. He's still a superstar. He's still a stud. He averaged 15.1 fantasy points per game last year on a very bad offense, an offense that couldn't move the ball. I'm afraid of Justin Fields. I'm afraid of that future with the New York Jets, with Justin Fields leading them. I don't think he's the future, but I do think Justin Fields can open up running lanes. And I think if Justin Fields stays there for a year or two, Breece Hall can definitely get some easy rushing yards with those easy rushing lanes with the option offense if they run it. Breece Hall in 2024 finished. I said 2023. 2024 finished with 8 games as a top 20 fantasy running back. He did that the year before as well. So, like I said, nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is 2 years ago, and I did this. I had to go down to the breakdown. I had to do it all. He had one monster game in Week 16 against Washington where he scored like 45 points, had 12 catches. If he didn't have that game, he'd be putting up similar numbers and we'd feel more comfortable about him. But the fact is he did dip in production. He did take a step back. Even if it's only 100 yards difference, he took that step back. So what happens is we go, well, there's new guys coming up, and he's obviously going down. But that's ridiculous, guys. He's probably younger than RJ Harvey. And we have him ranked about the same. So Breece Hall to me is still a killer, still a stud. I don't see why anybody would move him down at all.
He is 1 year younger. He's 23. RJ Harvey is 24. I'm cautious about Breece Hall specifically for this year. I do have him ranked as RB6, which I think is reasonable. I have him, I think, in that more reasonable range, whereas everybody else has him in the 9, 10, 11 range, maybe even 8. I'm cautious about him this year just because Justin Fields hasn't really had a productive running back like that actually produced, whether that be in Chicago, even in Pittsburgh. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris weren't like all level. They were good. Breece Hall is better than both of them, but I'm a little worried, and I have him high because he is only 23, and Justin Fields will not be the quarterback forever. So eventually, they're going to get a quarterback that can hopefully sustain a running game that does not involve only the quarterback rushing upside. But for this year, I'm a little bit cautious about Breece Hall specifically.
No, and one last point to close it out. Again, we did say Aaron Glenn and Tanner Eggstrand came from Detroit. What did Detroit do best? They utilized their talent. They utilized Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and they won football games. I don't think the previous coaching staff over there in New York, as they showed themselves on HBO, what's that show called? I don't even watch it anymore. Hard Knocks. That they're clowns. I said that if you can go back 2 years from whenever that show existed, I was on this YouTube channel, not this channel in particular, but on a YouTube channel saying, man, these guys are clowns. These guys don't know how to coach them away out of a cardboard box. These guys are idiots. And I'm glad to see them gone because they were just regressing their talent. They weren't progressing their talent. So let's see what they can do with a real head coach and a real offensive coordinator.
Yeah. We do have a question about Devon Achane. Do we have them both falling off? I have him at 7. You have him at 5.
I love Achane. The problem is if Tua plays, he's freaking scoring 25 points. If Tua doesn't play, he's scoring 5 points. The difference between Achane producing and not producing is the passing game. The biggest joke, or not joke, I guess the running gag of last year was if Tua plays, take the Achane over receptions because he hit it every single time. So Achane will be productive as long as Tua stays on the field. Seriously, he needs the catches.
All right. Next up, who do you want to go back to Saquon Barkley there?
You may do back-to-back reads. Come on, bro.
Oh, okay. Fine. We'll talk about Jonathan Taylor. I
kid. Hey, I kid. I can go Saquon if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right.
I'll do your job, man. I'll host the show. It's fine. I gotta practice for this weekend. Jonathan Taylor, I have him at RB8. You have him at 12. The rest of us have him in the top 10. You're the only one that has him outside the top 10 on our team. And I see why. He finished as RB12 last year. So you're going right off of his production from last year in only 14 games. Didn't play 3 games. I don't understand. Raphael says, I don't understand Dolphins fans. They're pumping up Zach Wilson signing. Dolphins fans believe he can supplant Tua. They used damn Darnold's Cinderella season.
Listen, I didn't want to derail your conversation. I just want to throw that out there, Raphael. I understand what you're saying. Listen, Tua is the key to the Dolphins' success. I know this is a Dolphins network. I just wanted to get that out there. So you can go forward with your Jonathan Taylor. Sorry.
Raphael, we will also get back to you on CMC here in a minute. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor finishes RB12 in only 14 games last year, 33 the 2 seasons prior to that with 10 and 11 games. We see when Jonathan Taylor plays 14 or more games, he finishes as a top 12 running back in the NFL, which is a starting running back in fantasy football. I can foresee that happening again this year. You hope that happens again this year. They didn't seem to take too much interest in bringing in extra running backs this offseason. I mean, they brought in Khalil Herbert, not somebody that's going to start as RB1 moving forward. They drafted DJ Giddens, which, probably RB3, maybe 4. But I would assume Jonathan Taylor is going to continue playing the way he has been the last couple of years, especially if Anthony Richardson does progress this year, learns how to check the ball down, learns how to run the game, and not just put the ball only in his hands throughout the entire game. I could see this being a good boost for Jonathan Taylor. Don't think it's top 5 worthy, but I think a solid 8 to 12 is a very good range for him right now.
So you called me out for saying I went strictly on his last year's stats. That's totally unfair.
I was joking. I was joking because he's RB12 last year. You have him at 12 this year.
I was about to say that's very. So here's how I took my Jonathan Taylor ranking. I do have him at 12. I am the lowest on the team. I took him and I go, okay, he's the benchmark to he's hitting that age where he's either going to fall off or he's going to keep on doing well for the next couple of years. There's no in between. He's either going to fall off or he's going to keep on doing the pace he's doing now. And I put him at number 1. That's how I ranked him, literally, not even kidding. I go, okay, Gibbs is better. I literally just went down the list. Okay, I'd rather have him the way I would draft in Dynasty. That's how I did it. Hampton's ahead of him just because of age alone and because of his opportunity. But other than that, you can't really argue the guys I have over him. Kyron Williams, you could probably go, Kyron's he's kind of iffy. We don't know his contract status. He's on a team that they cycle in running backs in and out. You don't know if he's going to actually be a mainstay. That's fair, right? But I have Kyron at 11. But I think Kyron's more explosive, adds more in the passing game. So I love Jonathan Taylor. That's why I put him a baseline 12. He's going to be running back 1. He's going to be slow and steady. Do I see a 40-point game out of him anytime in his career? Yeah, but he needs 3 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to be burning it. He's not going to be catching 8 to 10 balls a game. So he's going to need those 3 touchdown games to get you up to that 40, 30-point level where these other guys can do it with receptions and yardage alone. So that's kind of why I put him as that baseline 12, where I do like him and I do like his future. I love his talent, but I don't see the big upside that I see from a Breece Hall or a Bucky Irving or Achane, for example. That's all. He's just kind of a really good guy. Like who's a really good actor who's not going to win an award? He's not going to bomb, but he's just a really good actor, just really good musician, right? Really good play. He's like Caitlin Clark, really good. Just can't, I'm just kidding. Okay, we're not doing this game today. Okay. He's left. We had a big fight over the weekend about Caitlin Clark. Not a fight, just we have questions in the chat. Where does CMC land? I believe he will get more touches. We have Christian McCaffrey, running back 16. Highest, someone has him a running back 5. Lowest is me. I have him at running back 19.
Yeah, you have him at 19. I have him at 18. If it wasn't for Tim's 5, he probably would be lower than 16 on our list. Again, I mean, yeah, he's 28. He's had some of his best seasons behind him. They are behind him. It's kind of interesting actually. Rookie season, RB10, then RB2, RB1. He's injured, only plays 3 games. Then he only plays
average 15
games.
points per game in those games though.
Yeah. Then finishes RB2, RB1, and then he's injured again. So if you're looking at patterns, this is another injury season for him. But again, we're talking about Dynasty. This is somebody that you want to make sure is on your roster moving forward for the next 2 to 3 years. Christian McCaffrey is not one of those players that I'm willing to sell my whole team to get right now. In fact, I'm trying to get him off my teams if I have him still, because it's just not a valuable resource to hold on to, especially with 2 dead Achilles from last season. That's going to take a lot. He just about to have a kid. He just got married. Not saying that's the end of the world for him, but he doesn't necessarily need to play football. So I think his career is coming to an end. And I think it's going to be sooner than later.
I do think that CMC does hold value, especially if you're a winning team, if you need to make a move. But listen, let's not get it twisted. You don't want to give up major assets for him in the future. So if you're a winning team and you're 1 running back away, trading for Christian McCaffrey for the price he's going to be demanding, which is a first-round pick. People are going to be demanding a first-round pick, rookie pick next season for Christian McCaffrey, and I'm not willing to pay up. And I'll tell you why. He's a huge liability in the injury, as we all know. Christian McCaffrey, when he plays, top tier, one of the best to ever do it, best in our generation, best in our era, the last 10 years, easily the best running back that's ever played fantasy football, easily, right? But the fact is, he's also, when he goes down, he's useless. And it's just like any player. When they go down with injury, not useless as human beings, useless for your fantasy roster. So I'd much rather give up, if you're looking for a boost for your team, go out and get Derrick Henry. He's older, and he's more reliable, and he's not going to get hurt. And if he does get hurt, it's not going to be for long. He's a stud. Go get out there and get Joe Mixon. Go out there and get Alvin Kamara. Much better values because you can probably get them cheaper in the same kind of player. They're getting older. People want them off the roster. Trust me, people are trying to get rid of Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara for anything at this point. So I'd much rather go buy those guys, which we have significantly lower than Christian McCaffrey, because Christian McCaffrey, when healthy, will win you the whole league by himself. Yep.
Yeah. When healthy, it's proven when healthy, he is the best. So
Joe Mixon, we just said Joe Mixon is a good go get. He did die off last year. Kyle Pitts to work for CDC. Listen, man, no more Kyle Pitts talk in the chat, guys. No more Kyle. That's it hurts my soul still. I seen people back in the day when Kyle Pitts was being drafted, 3 first-round picks for this guy. 3 first. Now you can't even get a third. All right, the next guy on our list, Saquon Barkley. Saquon, the rushing leader, right? Mr. Saquon, Mr. Revive. I have him at 8. I'll just be honest with you, everyone. I am by far the lowest. We have him at running back 4, which to me is insane. Everyone else has him in their top 4, and I am the man on the island going, no. Right? As LA Knight would say, no. He's freaking 28 years old, people, going to his 8th season. He had his lowest reception total ever last year. Did you know that's 33 catches last year? I guess they don't throw
2020,
to the running back.
He had less than that.
As for a full season.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I'd have to preference that, but he also had the most touchdowns since his rookie season in 2018. He had a career high carries, 345. That's a lot for someone like Saquon, who is obviously injured a lot. His last major injury though wasn't since 2020. He's been very productive since then. He's had a couple, dings and dents around the block, but nothing too crazy. But historically, I know this is a lazy conversation, but it is what it is, right? Historically, when players reach their 20, especially running backs, reach their 28th age, their 28th year, they do fall off. It happens to everybody. It happens to almost everybody. Saquon could be the exception here, but CMC turned 28 last year. We all know what CMC did, right? Dalvin Cook turned 28 2 years ago, and he was a stud. Do not talk bad about Dalvin Cook. He was a super stud for years. Turned 28 2 years ago. He went to the Jets. We're all going, oh yeah, Dalvin Cook season. Dalvin Cook did absolutely jack squat. He played 17 games since he's turned 28, had 75 carries, 234 yards. The season before he turned 28, he had 1,100, close to 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. He fell off a cliff. He just completely vanished. I can go on and on. Zeke Elliott, it's another good one, turned 28 in 2022. His decline was a little bit slower. He didn't fall off a cliff from 1,200 to 200 yards. His cliff was more like a 900 to 800 to 700 to 600. He slowly went down. Again, what's the general consensus here? everyone falls off. Saquon is no god. None of us are. He's a human being with a lot of injuries, coming off of a huge year, 345. Name a running back other than Saquon that had 345 carries that you are confident in going to the next season that they could hold up. It just doesn't happen in today's world. So that's the only reason why I have him 8. And I still have him top 10. I'm still saying draft this guy in the top 10 running back in your dynasty leagues because there's still that little bit of faith going. He's a workhorse. He's an athlete. He can overcome. We have today's technology, but guys, 28 years old, man. That's not something you could just overlook. Not everybody is Frank Gore and Derrick Henry. And again, you can't name any other guys. Name another guy who went that long, who was that productive, who could do that. And you're drafting Saquon Barkley going, well, he could score 15 touchdowns again. Yeah, he could because he's on that offense. But is he going to rush for that much? Is he going to be that productive? I don't see.
Well, they might be in the tush push, so he might get more running goal.
That's a different question. That's ridiculous, by the way. I'm just calling it right now. That's ridiculous.
It is. If you're a Packers
fan,
and
you're
so
good at something. Imagine being so good at something like Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth's so good at hitting home runs. MLB, oh, we're banning the home run. Why? I'm good at it.
I was talking about this on social media. Somebody got up and upset about it. It was like, that's not comparing like things. And go back into social media. He's a Packers fan who is who's the organization that said.
I do want to say this before we move on to your guy. The Eagles have rushed for over 2,000 yards as a team 6 of the last 8 seasons. No matter what, they will find a way to run the football down people's throats. It just might be a little bit more committee rather than just one guy. That's all. Follow the money, they say, though. He just got an extension.
Yeah. Next guy I want to talk about is Chase Brown. We collectively have him as RB14, which is an RB2. We both have him at 13 right now. I'm talking about him because there are questions about him, specifically in that Bengals offense. He had a good season last year, finishes RB10, and that largely due to Zach Moss, who they brought in to be the RB1 going down early in the season, who was playing very well before he got injured. Then they also just drafted Tosh Brooks, who apparently is supposed to be the RB1 by the end of the season. I don't necessarily buy into that. Too many teams in this league run the dual running back system, and I think the Bengals are going to be another one that will run that dual running back system. But the fact is, Chase Brown is still a very good player. He still finished as an RB10 behind a very bad offensive line, and they did up their game on the offensive line this year. So assuming Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, all healthy, Mike Gesicki's back. Basically, the Bengals are running back that offense. I added some defensive options there. I would expect him to have a pretty good season, the top 15 season this year. And again, he's 25. Yeah, similar to Jonathan Taylor, who's 26. He's getting older, but he's still young in the NFL. He's only had 2 seasons. So there's not a lot of mileage put on him yet. He's only played in 28 games. So I would foresee him being an asset in the RB2 range for the next couple of years still.
I have no rebuttal to that. We're on the same page with Chase Brown. I have him at 13. You have him at 13. We're right there. I just fear that somebody could easily take his job.
Yeah.
And that's my fear with a lot of running backs on this list.
The only thing that I see his job being safe, or the reason why I see his job being safe, is because of how electric that offense already is. If the running game is taken out of the game, they still have the passing game. Like, they're not stopping Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Mike Gesicki and all of these other Yoshi Voss. Like, they're not going to stop everybody, so that's good. If the Bengals are focusing on a position to upgrade right now, it's the entire defense. So I think his job is currently still safe. Again, now if Tosh Brooks comes in and says, I'm RB1, get out of my way. Okay, Tosh Brooks is RB1, get out of his way. But until Chase Brown loses that job, it's his job to keep.
It is his job to keep. All right. Before we get into our last couple of guys we're going to talk about, I do see your questions in the chat, everybody. We will get to every single one of those. I do want to remind everybody watching, whether it be on YouTube, Talk Sports Network, or on our own Fantasy Now Plus site, just drop our site, YouTube channel, drop a like. It really helps us out. It gets us to other places. It gets us into algorithms. We have been growing tremendously. Our subscriber count has been going up through the roof. So we really appreciate every single one of you. Keep helping us out. We want to make this a full-time gig eventually, or a side hustle. So we need your help to like and share and subscribe. Like everyone says it, but guys, it really does help get us into other people's eyes. And if you're a fan of the show, or you like a show, or you like one of us, if you don't like me, sorry. If you like Justin, tell a friend anyway. I'm not here all the time. I'm only here once a week these days. So I appreciate you guys all again. We have this one. What should we expect for Stephon Diggs in New England? Raphael, I expect big things. I expect awesome things, and I expect things to go downhill slightly and him ruin Drake May's career. I expect things to go awesome at front, right? And then Stephon Diggs is upset he's not getting 5,000 targets, and he's going to yell at Drake May on the sideline. That's what I expect.
But to ruin his entire career?
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Josh Allen didn't get ruined?
Yes.
CJ Stroud, maybe. We don't know yet. It's debatable still. But no, I mean, I think we talked about this last week when we talked about Drake May and how Stephon Diggs should hopefully help his career really lift off. He has a habit to playing with younger quarterbacks, whether that's his choice or his agents or the team's choices to send them to teams with younger quarterbacks. So I would expect him to have a decent year until, again, maybe he gets injured, maybe he falls off, maybe he demands more targets and the targets are going elsewhere. But I would expect him to have a pretty good year this year.
And is Tank Dell done in Houston?
Dude, I mean, they drafted 2 rookies.
It's sad to see. I hope he's not done, but
I hope not.
You know, injuries like that can kill a career. We saw Josh Gordon's career get injured and destroyed by marijuana, drugs. And that was just that. Like if you get time, if you don't play the game consistently year after year after year, your skills diminish. Just like anything. If you don't work it out, you lose it. Right? If you don't work out, you lose your muscles. If you don't write every day, you might lose your writing ability. You get what I mean. So you got to do it to be good at it. So Tank Dell hasn't been on the field and won't be on the field for a while, unfortunately. And does Nico's numbers increase? Yes. Like that's just yes. Yes.
Who else is there?
Nico. I love Nico. Let's go, Nico. That wasn't me 2 years ago. I wasn't loving Nico 2 years ago.
That's true.
Here's a guy that I do love, and he follows on that Chase Brown scenario that we were just talking about. I wish I would have just transitioned over, but Bucky Irving, right? He wasn't supposed to be the guy. It was Rachaad White. It was Sean Tucker. And then Bucky Irving comes out of nowhere, week 6 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and blows everyone's mind. Bucky Irving was not relevant weeks 1 through 5. Bucky Irving sat on the bench weeks 1 through 5. For some reason, in week 6, I believe somebody went down. He stepped up. He had a 100-yard game. He had 65% of the snaps. And then guess what happened in week 7? Back down to 30% snap share. Why is Lovie Smith still a coach? I'll never know. But despite Lovie Smith being the Buccaneers head coach, Bucky Irving had a phenomenal rookie season, finishing top 10 in rushing yards, top 10 in fantasy production. And I do see this continuing throughout his entire career because he's behind one of the best offensive lines in football. That is so weird for me to say. Living in this market for over 39 years now, the biggest problem for the Buccaneers have always been quarterbacks. No one's ever been signed to a second contract ever in the entire franchise. And the offensive line. That's been the whole problem throughout 39 years of my life. Now they have a quarterback on a second contract, and they have a top 3 offensive line in the history of football. I'm just kidding. But they do. They talk like they do. Bucky Irving is top 5, not only just because of the offensive line, by the way. He's top 5 in juke rate last year. Evaded tackles, yards per touch, yards created per touch. This guy's slippery. He knows how to get skinny in between the A gaps and B gaps and C gaps. He can stretch the field. He can hit the edges. Bucky Irving, he can catch the ball. 47 catches last year. He can basically do everything. So I'm really excited to see what he can do with a full playbook, a full year to produce, not just half the year. Because let's be honest, he didn't really take over till about week 6, 7, 8. So if you're a running back and a rookie running back at that, and you took over that late, of course we're going to rank him super high going into the next season. Am I the highest on him? I am not. I have him 7th. Chris Pudge is the highest at 6 on our team. You have him at 9. You hate Bucky Irving, but that's okay. He's going to prove you wrong as well.
RB1. He's still an RB1 in my rankings. I don't.
Hey, if you can call out my hate for Jonathan Taylor, I can call out your hate for Bucky Irving.
That's fair. That's fair. But you have borderline RB1. I have Bucky as RB1. As an RB1.
Let's not be I can't not say this. Rachaad White's still there. Sean Tucker is an amazing talent. I don't care if you don't know who he is, he proved last year when his one chance that he is an amazing athlete, amazing running back. So the sad part is I think if Bucky does get injured this year, we will see somebody else come in and take over that role and be just as good. I think they have the best running back room in the entire league. And it's not close in my mind. And I think Bucky Irvin's going to lead this charge only at 23 years old. 23 years old. He is a must add to me. If anyone's selling, if anyone's not buying him or buying into his greatness, I would easily go buy Bucky Irving. The future is bright in Tampa Bay. I don't see a fall off. And you know what? I was watching NFL Network today, and this is not me being biased because I'm a Dolphins supporter. I'm not a Bucs. I live here, but I'm not. Who's the greatest threat to Detroit? Is it or Philadelphia? Is it Detroit or Los Angeles? Nobody's ever talking about the Bucs. People forget Bucs were a top 4 team in the NFC last year. Their offense was outstanding. Yes, they lost their offensive coordinator. I totally understand that. But that offensive coordinator did not affect the running back room. That offensive coordinator affected Chris Godwin and Baker Mayfield. Those are your regression candidates. Not Bucky Irving. Not behind that offensive line. It's too damn good. Too damn good.
Yeah, he is good. And if you've watched us for long, over the season or over the years, last year we talked about Rachaad White potentially being a dud for last year. Yeah, I mean,
the problem with Rachaad White though, he's just not going away though. He's not going away.
No, he's not. Now, and then if you continued watching us, it looks like we have adding Bucky Irving in week 3 of the season last year, where we told you to go get him, which was right before his pop off in week 4. And then, okay, week 5 was a thing, but then week 6 on was good.
Week 6 he was the running back.
I remember talking about Bucky quite a bit, saying if you have not added Bucky Irving yet, why not go get him? Like 1, 2, 3. I've seen 3 times now we have said go get Bucky Irving in the first 6 weeks of the season.
I tell my kid to brush his teeth. Do you think he listens? Just kidding. I know you guys listen. I love you guys. I love all of you guys. Who is the last guy that you want to highlight in our rankings?
Yeah. See, I didn't have one.
Oh, we don't have it. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I put in the extra work to make sure we have quality content for this program. Justin,
you talked about 8 players today.
All Justin does is make the graphics and make everything scheduled and does everything else behind the scenes. Justin is a phenomenal boss, by the way. I couldn't ask for a better one, so I really appreciate everything you do for me, Justin, everything you do for the channel. I'm looking forward to the season, of course. Yes, we're wrapping it up right now, so if you want to play that music, you can do that. We are going to be here again live next Monday. We have a show live on Friday, Studs and Suds over there with Pudge. I call him Vegas Jeff because that's what we see in the Discord all the time. They're popping beers. Justin was on the show. I did not get an invite yet. I'm the beer guy. I know beer, and I didn't get an invite on the show, but it's cool. Maybe one day, Pudge. Maybe one day. All right. Until then, make sure you join our Discord. Of course, make sure you sign up for Super League. I believe we are still getting registrations down. When is the draft?
July. End of July. There's time. Register.
There's time. Register. FantasyNowPlus.com. Until next week, guys. Peace out. Be good.
And don't forget to stream 8 p.m. on Friday.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.